So, fun fact, I had a awesome YouTube video that I recorded. It was like a 20-minute video. It was very thorough, very detailed. And after I finished the recording, I realized I did not have my external microphone that sits on top of my camera hooked up. Here we are recording the video again. Um, so with that being said, welcome to my YouTube. This video is going to be more on living alone, what that looks like living alone, creating my peace, kind of like what I do to create my peace, and kind of like what my day-to-day really looks like. First thing we're talking about is more so creating peace and how I create my peace. I go to places alone. I don't allow any type of negative energy to basically come into my life. So whether it be in a workplace, whether it be out on the streets, at a store, if someone's being negative, I make sure that I shield myself away from that and I just stay away from that, so I don't allow, like I say, anything to basically enter and come into my life that could ruin my peace. A male or a female could do if they were talking to someone, if they were dating someone. Like a lot of men look for peace. If they know they're looking for it, no, they're looking for peace. If you can't bring me peace, then me personally, if you can't bring me peace, I don't need you around. And I'm okay not having you around because you're messing up my mental peace, and I don't do too well with that. Always trying to create a positive space in everything that I do. I am a realist about situations, so it is kind of hard being a realist at the same time, trying to create a positive space. Because I just call things for what they are. If a bad situation is bad, I recognize the situation, and I don't try to oversell it like it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. It's okay for it not to be okay. And I think that's the realest part that I like about my life, is that I understand what's going on and that it's okay not to be okay. I think we get a lot of falsehoods that a bad situation kind of comes up and we try to create all the positivity around it and this and that. Sometimes it just doesn't work out and it ends up creating expectations. I don't really do well off the expectations. I don't even have expectations, whether I'm dating somebody, whether I'm applying for a job, whether I'm going to the store to pick up some shoes, some clothes or whatever. I go into the mindset that they're not going to have it, or I go into the mindset that this person, this woman that I'm looking at, may not be the person for me and may let me down. Same thing for a job. I may apply to a job and not get the job, and that's okay. I have an expectation that allows for me not to build myself up insanely high and then end up shooting myself in the foot, and then I have a bunch of lows and I fall into depression. I think a lot of people over time end up putting a lot of stuff on a pedestal, and then when it doesn't go their way, they don't know how to react. I know myself, right? I know that I go into situations like I'm realistic with myself to know that how I look, how I present myself, what I'm doing, how much money I make, my status, whatever they may be. I don't oversell that. It's like when they say keeping up with the Joneses. Like, I don't do that. I stay within my means. There's plenty of people out here driving Ferraris, Lamborghinis, mansions, I have all the women, whatever, and I understand that it's not my life. Do I want that lifestyle? No. Cars? Yes. Mansions? I don't have to have a mansion. I'm a little more simple. I'm a very simplistic individual. I live on a very smaller scale. A lot of people try to be seen, want to be noticed, and that's just not me. That's just not like what I value personally. And for everyone else that values that, that is completely okay. It's just not for me. Another way that I create my peace is not compromising. And in previous relationships, I got into a really, really good habit, a really healthy habit of compromising every single time. There was things that I should have stood on. There was things that I didn't believe in, but I was kind of wrecking the force to believe in because I wanted to be that person that fixed the situation, not hinder the situation. I wanted to be that person that you couldn't talk negative about. And then I had to slowly realize over time that people are going to talk negative about you regardless. No matter if you're doing great, you're doing bad, someone's going to always have something to say. With that being said, look at LeBron James. Like, no matter how great he is, he has no bad media. any of that, someone's always gonna have something to say about what he does. No matter how much money, how he builds a school, he does this, does that, doesn't matter. So I had to really come into that knowing that you can't satisfy everybody, and that it's okay to say no as well, just so that you don't believe in. Because best believe your partner's going to tell you if they don't want something, they don't like something. So it's okay for you to reciprocate that energy. I no longer compromise. Like I believe on what I believe on. I settle. Like I won't settle at all. So if I know that I want this and this size, this color. Um, I go to the store and I'm looking for it. Like I'm not gonna go purchase something else just because I couldn't find what I wanted. Like it's okay that I couldn't find what I wanted because I might have to go to several other stores to find this T-shirt or these shoes in this color, size, or whatever. Um, I apply that to my personal life as well when it comes to who I decide to push my energy into. It's okay that I don't push my energy into everyone, and I've fully accepted that. I use the 5 finger rule. For me, the 5 finger rule means, on one hand, this is how many things I can like quote unquote stress about or worry about. So anything outside of these five that go over until 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, can't worry about it. Doing the 5 finger rule for me has been very beneficial for me. Um, it's allowed me to kind of like pull myself back and not stress as much. For a long time, I was like, oh, I'm not stressed out. I'm not this, I'm not that. But in reality, I was actually stressed out. And it took me a long time to realize until recently I had an incident to realize like, hey man, like you're doing too much. Like you're stretching yourself too thin. You're trying to satisfy people in some aspect, or you're taking on too much in your personal life, at work, and it's basically just running you dry. Also control what I can control within my 5 things, right? You can't control people. No matter how much you love your boyfriend, you love your girlfriend, you can't control them. If they want to cheat on you, if they want to do something malicious towards you, they're going to do that regardless. Same thing with your family. Like, I think we get into this aspect that family can't do no wrong, but we have to reset our minds to realize that family are still people. Like, they're still individuals. And I think if you just don't worry about trying to control a person and you only control your mind, your heart, your physical, control what you can control and be the best version of you, I think everything else will pan out for you. I know that it's worked for me and it's something that I'm not perfect on, but it's also something that I embark on a journey every single day and it's been very beneficial for me. I think following those things can kind of help. Um, but at first you gotta know, like you gotta know yourself. You can't compare yourself to others. Social media does a great job at only showing the positive that people are going through. Like you see the bottles popping, you see the Dior, you see the Gucci, you see the Louis, you see the Louboutin, you see the expensive trips. But behind that, a lot of people are going through a lot of stuff, but they're not showcasing it. Social media allows you to showcase only the highlights, but there's also lowlights as well, but we're not actually broadcasting those. I don't have an issue exposing my lowlights. I don't have an issue talking about my lowlights, or even I don't have an issue of claiming my lowlights. A lot of people just claim like they're always good, they're perfect, there's no problems, there's this and that, but you actually have problems. Now, me personally, I'm guilty of this. If you ask me how you doing, I will tell you it's another day. The reason why I say this is because I don't really feel in my past that people are 100% authentic when they ask you how you're doing. Because if you tell them how you're really doing, they're not going to really have the feedback to really support you in. Or on the bridge side of that, they want to use it for gossip. I have been into a lot of situations where I've like, you know what, like I'm going through this, blah, 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 like we're trying to figure this out. And it became a subject matter. It became a conversation amongst other people, and it was spread out. And so that happened so many times that I just got into the habit of being like, it's another day. I don't want to talk about it. That way I can kind of basically control my own emotions around my situation, because that goes into privacy. Like everyone doesn't need to know what's going on with you. A lot of people do a good job at just like, hey, I got this going on, blah 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 blah. I'm stressed out about this, and they just keep going and going and going. They're just giving people more ammunition. Some people are really good people, but some people are just bad people, and they just have like negative intentions, and I just stay away from that. So going into living alone, living alone is like It's a blessing and a curse. Only reason why I say it's a blessing and a curse is because, like, at the end of the day, I know when I come into my place that it's gonna be the same. If I left a Dorito on the ground, that Dorito's still gonna be there, and it's my direct responsibility to pick up that Dorito and put it in the trash. I can't blame it on nobody else. I do like since I do have my own mental peace, I have a lot of mental maturity and a lot of emotional maturity as well. So with me knowing my peace and being able to balance that, like I like my space. I like my routine. Living alone is it's different. There becomes times where it's just like, man, like I wish I had someone here on the couch with me, watching TV, or someone I can be cuddling with, of course, in bed, all the time. But I think what happens is over like when men or women decide to shoot that option, they end up doing that, and then it's like, okay, I want you gone. Like I have some friends that live alone, they love living alone. They're just like, yeah, that this is it. Then they find a girl and they like start spending time with them, and just like she's annoying. And it's not that she's annoying; it's just you have another person in your space that you're not used to being in your space. So they might leave the drawer out, or they might, leave the water like dripping, or they might leave their hair somewhere, or this and that, and it just becomes uncomfortable in that aspect because they are messing up your space. I do have lonely nights. For 100%, I have lonely nights. But it's all I kind of take it with a grain of salt. Like this is kind of like the lifestyle that I chose, so this kind of comes with it. So I can't really complain too much. So I can't complain about living alone if I'm choosing this path, right? A lot of people ask. This is a question that I get. What I do on my work days, my off days. So on my work days, I typically wake up at 4:30. I try to do cardio, and then after I do cardio, I get work. I get to work about 6:30. I work until 6:30, and then I'm off. Right. So now we're at 6:30 p.m. I come home. I make content, create content, edit content, post content, and then I have to go to the gym. Spend about 2 hours at the gym. So roughly we're looking at 9 o'clock, 9:30. I'm getting back home. By the time I do that, I have to cook, shower, sleep, and repeat. So I do that for 4 days. That's my routine for 4 days. So we're talking about the work days. So think about when I talk about living alone and creating your peace, knowing your peace. I have a routine. My routine allows me not to get out of any rhythm for the most part. My routine also allows me to stabilize my peace. Like I know what time I'm waking up. I know what time I may eat. I know what time I'm sleeping. I know what time I'm going to the gym. I know what time I'm recording content. I know what time I'm going to work. I know what time all my meetings are at work. Like everything's on a time schedule. And some people don't really work well on schedule. Some people don't work well on routines. Some people can't hold a routine. And I think if more people will hold a routine, then they can hold themselves accountable a little bit more, and they don't have to worry about being alone or not having their peace or not having this or not having that. I think if you just keep yourself busy for the most part with just having a routine, and when I say busy, I'm not saying just like entertaining other people. When I say busy, it means like learning another language. Like I'm currently like taking like a personal class to learn another language. Like no one's forcing me to do that, but that's something that I want to push myself on to make myself better. That's it. So, like me learning another language, me creating content, me like learning how to edit, me spending time learning how to edit, me trying to make my content better every single day, me learning about this camera that I'm shooting on that I know nothing about, but I'm constantly learning stuff. So every day I'm being a sponge. And I think with me being a sponge allows me to basically just make a better version of myself. Like every day I'm making a better version of myself. And it sucks because people that are single for a long time, they get good at it. And they get to the point where it's just like, I don't need another person. That goes for men and women. Like when men get in their bag and they realize that they don't really need someone else, that they are the prize, like they become a dangerous person. That goes for a woman as well. For a woman that goes through heartache, trial and tribulation through relationships, men doing them wrong. Once they stabilize themselves, they create that mental solidarity that like I don't need you. Like they become a dangerous person, and I think I'm kind of becoming a dangerous person because I'm just creating this version of myself that's just so elite and top tier. Because I'm just like there's so many resources out here to keep learning. Like, why are we not taking advantage of them? Off days, only get 3 days off a week. So if I have like a lot of obligations from like work that I have to do on off days, of course I do those. I try to keep my same like morning routine, so I still like get up, try to do cardio, brush teeth, all the facial routine, all the like baseline stuff. Try to do all that, and then go to the gym. And then after the gym, I usually go to like IKEA and just walk around, like literally just walk around IKEA. Go to Target, same thing, like just walk around looking at stuff. Going to Central Market, which is like one of my new favorite grocery stores. This is a different type of loneliness in a good way, or like I keep talking about peace. Like when I go to the grocery store and grab that basket, I'm just kind of like walking through. I don't have anyone there. It's just me and my thoughts. A lot of people can't sit in their thoughts. I hate to say it, but a lot of people can't sit in their thoughts by themselves and process them. A lot of people can't be alone. So it takes like a certain type of person to be truly alone. There's a difference between being alone and you like entertaining like a bunch of people all the time. But like when you just alone and you're not entertaining nobody and it's just you, like when I go to the grocery store, it's the most like serene thing for me. Like when I go to like IKEA, I'm just walking around and I'm just like picking up stuff and thinking about my aesthetic at home and how can I enhance my aesthetic at home. Like it's a different level. It's a different vibe for sure. Um, and I enjoy that now. Like I look forward to that. Like I go to the gym early, go to the mall, walk around, might pick up some stuff, might not. But I'm still around people, and of course people like end up like seeing me from like Instagram or TikTok and saying like, oh hey, blah blah blah, whatever. It doesn't happen a lot, but I'm still around people. I'm still like kind of socially engaging, so I'm not like isolating myself. Going to Trader Joe's, like going to the grocery store, like Target, like I said, Home Goods, at home, just kind of like looking at stuff and just being with myself. It's different, but I love it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, like at all. Would not trade it for anything in the world. This journey that I've been on lately, these past few months, past few years, has been very challenging, and I'm not perfect at all. I'm still making progress every single day, but I just try to be better than I was the previous day. Like my off days go by so fast. By like currently right now it's 2 o'clock right now already, and I still haven't been to the gym. But once I get done doing the content, because I still gotta do content during these days, I still have to cook. I still have to have some type of social media like presence in a sense. And then traffic's terrible, but I also still like spend time at the stores and do this and do that. And then like I get on TikTok as well, always searching for new like restaurants to try, new food to try. That's something that I do on my off days. By that time, it's already Saturday. I have to kind of like wind it down. But I still have like a routine. Usually Saturdays are my mall days. Don't know why I pick Saturdays, which is like the busiest day when I can go on a Thursday, when there's nobody there. But that's like what my routine is. So I have a routine on my work day, and I have a routine on my off day. My routine on my off day is a little more loose, only because I'm off. I don't have to have it as structured, but I still try to make sure that, like say, I have a list of 10 things to do, whether that's going to the mall or going to try new food. I make sure I hit all 10 of those things. I like antiquing as well, so I will go antiquing for like 3 or 4 hours and just looking at stuff and just like really embracing like a baseball glove that was from 1930s into the year 2023. Like, think about that for a second. Like, that journey of that baseball glove, like whose hands it's been in. Like, so there are some stuff that's non-negotiable, as far as like going to the gym, blah blah blah. Like that stuff that has to get done. Like creating content has to get done. Editing content has to get done. So if I have a bunch of edits, I might spend 4 hours editing, like it just power it out, which is going to help me out during the week. Obviously, always forward think a lot. What's going to help me out in the upcoming, you know what I'm saying, like in the upcoming like week. So if I can like crush out more time, that means I can get more sleep during the week because I've already spent time editing. Now I just have to basically record. I don't have to spend so much time editing. So that definitely falls on me. I still like learn my languages, like language, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. So for the most part, still keep myself busy, still keep myself occupied for sure. I want to appreciate everyone that actually spent time watching the video. Please reach out, comment, Like, subscribe, share, leave positive feedback, negative feedback. I don't care. I'm gonna read it all regardless because it's just gonna help me be a better person, help me be more rounded in this journey. And I really appreciate everyone that's gonna be following me on my journey as well. It's gonna be a nice ride for all of us. So everyone have a good day. Tell somebody you love them. Tell somebody you care for them. Like, tomorrow's not promised. Very cliche, but you just never know.